Welcome to Basic and Bookish Podcast, the perfect place to crash out over our favorite books and connect with readers just like you. I'm Kinsey.
And I'm Karly. We are here today with Stacey, She Knows What She Did McEwan, author of A Forsaken Prophecy, Book 2 in the Artisan trilogy. Stacey is a New York Times and USA Today best-selling author. Stacey's books have made multiple must-read lists, including the New York Times, Business Insider, and Audible, with the New York Times writing that Stacey wields the chess pieces of her story with, quote, the panache of a grand master. And we must agree, even if we are traumatized by her cliffhangers.
We are so excited to speak with you today. Thank you for joining us, Stacey.
Thank you. I can't believe you guys got hold of my birth certificate and found out what my real middle name is. How dare you? That's a violation.
It took some digging.
You should be surprised what you can find online.
You guys are thorough. You do your research.
There's no other way to do it.
Yeah.
We will be starting this episode with a this or that game and spoiler-free segment where we get to know Stacey, her writing process, and why you should read A Forsaken Prophecy. After that, a clear spoiler warning will be provided before switching over to our spoiler-filled segment where we will dive into what readers want to know most after reading A Forsaken Prophecy and what's next in the Artisan trilogy, as well as our final game segment where we will put Stacey to the test with the knowledge of her own book.
If you'd like to skip the ads and have access to full video formats, it's available now on Patreon. That link can be found in our show notes.
Okay, we want to begin with a fun this or that game to get to know you, Stacey. We will be giving you two options to choose from, and we're curious to hear which you prefer, starting with making readers laugh or cry.
Oh, definitely cry.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, that's on brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then in turn, that makes me laugh.
Yes.
Makes sense. It's like a circle.
It is.
It comes full circle in the end.
Okay.
Ending on a brutal cliffhanger or no cliffhanger?
Oh, I love ending on a cliffhanger. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I know that people think that the cliffhanger thing is like an instrument for torture and that, like, you know, I would like to be the mistress of that said torture. But it's actually laziness. I don't want to tie up the loose ends yet. If you end on a cliffhanger, like, that's it. Like, you just get to go and you can find out what happens next later on. And it's so easy to end that book. Do you know how hard it is ending a book that's a standalone or the last book in a series? It takes ages to write that ending because you've got to tie up every loose end. And in a fantasy, especially in an epic fantasy, there's a million loose ends. It's really, really hard to do. So out of pure lengthiness, cliffhanger.
I just really thought you loved to torture us, but honestly, we love it because we keep coming back for more, so it's okay.
I was going to say, I actually prefer cliffhangers, so thank you for torturing us.
You're welcome.
I prefer them too.
Well, my pleasure.
Yeah. I just think, I don't know. I think it just really gives you something to look forward to.
Yeah, I love the brutality of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Writing the FMC or MMC's point of view.
Oh, this is hard. In this particular series, I prefer writing from Patrick's point of view for sure. So I'm going to say the MMC, just because he's such a complex character, so he's really, really fun for me to write. There's been many times in this series with Nina's point of view, my FMC, where she's just annoyed the heck out of me. Like, she's really, I'm like, girl, come on, like, pick a side, like, stand for something. Less so in A Forsaken Prophecy because I really felt like her character arc did its arcing, you know, and she got angry enough. Finally, she got angry enough. So she was much more fun to write from her perspective this time. In A Forbidden Alchemy, it was definitely Patrick. So it really just depends. Whoever the most complicated character is, and whoever has like the tightest set of convictions, they're so fun to write.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. I feel like you can really feel that through the page too.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Do you prefer writing in silence or with background noise?
In silence. I think it's because I'm deprived from silence most of the time. And my background was in teaching. That's pure chaos all of the time. That's a room of like 27 plus kids and you're just constantly working in noise. And so when I was teaching, what I would do is I would come home and I would look after my kids and do all that, and they would go to bed. And for my me time, I would sit in silence in this quiet house and I would just write. And just for fun. And I've been doing that my whole life. I did that when I was in high school. I would, spend the day at school and come home and like a nerd, I would sit down and I would write. And so it was silent and peaceful and meditative, and it still is. So I think I now still need that. I've kind of set up a set of conditions for myself where my brain will not go online and be ready to write unless I have that. So I need silence, and I need to be left alone, and I need to no music, very few distractions, no beeping, nothing. I need like a sensory deprivation tank is what I need.
A pod.
Yeah.
I am the exact same way. I have to read and write in silence. And I don't know if it's an
Yes.
ADHD thing, but it's just so distracting for me. I just have to do it that way.
Me too. It's for sure an ADHD thing. I hate to do that on you. But yeah.
Do you happen to have, I know you prefer to write in silence, but do you happen to have a playlist that inspires you when you're writing a Forsaken Prophecy?
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. And I think something that really helps me write is taking time to like go for a walk, go for a drive, thinking time. I suppose that doesn't it involves like a different bandwidth in your brain, I think. And music helps me then. So I make myself like a little playlist of songs that I hear that just remind me, or that had a certain vibe of a certain character or a plot point. So yeah, I definitely utilize that. I can't remember what author it is now, someone super famous who I definitely should know off the top of my head, but there's an author who's famous for quoting when he's in writer's block, he quantifies the plot problem by how many laps he had to walk of this oval near his house. And so if it was a really big problem, he'd say that was like a 10-lap problem. And it's because every time he ran into writer's block, it meant that there was a problem in the story that he couldn't overcome, or he'd written himself into a plot hole. And so he would have to walk to figure that out. And I relate to that very, very heavily. I have to take time to think it through heavily. And I usually need to be moving or cleaning or driving in order for that to happen. So yeah, relate to that heavily. And music helps a lot as well.
Oh.
To know.
Which song, any artist, would you say best describes the vibes of book 2?
Oh my God. Unfortunately, Noah Khan. Only because
I love him. I love him.
I love Noah Khan so much. I really do. He's my favorite singer. But his new album, just because it's just come out, and I finished writing. And I finished writing A Forsaken Prophecy a long time ago. But this album's just come out, and I've been listening to it on repeat and going, "This is really prophetic." I don't know how that happened, but it feels like every single song somehow relates back to this story that I wrote a while ago. So yes, I would say Noah Khan for right now.
That's so good. I feel like the whole time I was reading the book, and I feel like my references are always like a little bit, like I listen to music like 3 years after it comes out. That's just how I am. But I had Olivia Rodrigo's Sour album playing in my head like over and over and over again the whole time I was reading this book. Like the driver's license one was like has so much like yearning, and the part where she's like, "Man, it's brutal out there," and I'm like the whole time I'm like,
All right,
I just
Olivia.
have to like play it and repeat. Yeah.
That's good. Man, I need to go back and listen to the Sour album. That was a great album.
Yeah.
But Noah Khan makes so much sense.
I definitely had Noah Khan in my head. I was like, oh, Dashboard, that applies to Nina for sure. Just so good.
There were so many Nina songs on there, absolutely. But Orbiter was a big one that I was like, oh no. And then when I listened to Dan for a first time, I'm like, oh, that's Patrick and his brothers. Just kind of constantly fighting, but like also needing like time together, like needing to be together. And like struggling when they're not together.
Oh, that's so sweet. So you did mention earlier a little bit of your writing process, how you get into that headspace. We did have a listener ask if you have any other writing rituals. So do you have like, oh, I have to have a certain drink, or I have to light a candle, or is the drive and listening to your music part of your ritual and there's really nothing else involved in that process?
Yeah, I keep it pretty simple. I'm a caffeine addict, so I need to have coffee with me at all times. And then I make up excuses about why I need to go and refill that coffee right now or reheat the coffee right now so that I can procrastinate. So there's definitely a level of procrastination involved in the ritual. There's a little bit of that. The hardest part about writing is sitting down. It's like going to the gym. The hardest part about going to the gym is going, and the hardest part about writing a book is putting your butt in the chair and starting. And then once you start it, hours can fly by and it's great. And you reach that flow state, and you're never sad that you sat down and wrote. Just like you never regret having gone to the gym and actually done the thing that you needed to do. So writing's very similar in that respect. And I focus very much on the discipline side of it. So I know the amount of words that I want to reach by the end of the week. I know how many hours it will take of my butt in this chair in order to reach that word count. And that's what works for me. It doesn't work for everyone. But that's what works for me to keep myself disciplined. Very, very busy lifestyle, just as most people do who have any kind of job and a family. But the thing about this particular job is that the only person that I'm beholden to is myself. And that's dangerous for someone like me who does not have anyone standing over their shoulder going, hurry up, you're wasting time. I have no boss that I need to check in with. I have no one making me sit in this chair, right? Once a year, I have my editor say, hey, how's the book coming along? Like, when do you think I'll have it in my hands? Once a year, that happens. And that's it. So if I don't set measures for myself to put myself in this chair, no one else is going to. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one else is making me sit down. So discipline is a really big thing. And that's why I need my word count. That's why I need, I sit down at the same time every day and do it. I get my coffee and sit down and I have my silence and I put myself in my deprivation tank. And I start and I make myself start because I know that's the hardest part. And once I get past that first 15 minutes, then everything else takes off and it's all good. So yeah, that's sort of my little ritual is I drop off my kids at school. I sit down in this chair with my coffee, I write and I stay here for 3 hours. And usually by the end of 3 hours, I've reached the word count that I need to. And most of the time I want to keep writing. I'm already here. I'm already in it. I might as well keep going if I have the time to. But if I have other things on, then I can stop and I can do something else. So yeah, and I do the same thing every day.
You just got to reach that flow state and then you're good to go.
Exactly. I will have to I have to push myself. I have to shove myself into the flow state. Once I'm there, I'm good.
That's good. So now that we've gotten to know you a little bit better, we are going to move on to our spoiler-free questions. So this will just go a little bit more in depth with the book itself. So to start off, in 1 minute or less, how would you describe the Artisan trilogy for readers who are looking for their next fantasy read? And don't worry, we won't actually time you.
Okay, thank God. This is about to be a whole lot more than 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So A Forbidden Alchemy is a story about a population that's divided between artisans and craftsmen. Artisans are magical folk and craftsmen are not. And Nina and Patrick, our two main characters, first meet when they're 12 years old at a ceremony that decides which they're going to become, either an artisan or a craftsman, because it's not something that they're born with. It's actually the magic is mined from the earth and it's consumed. At this ceremony, though, they uncover a rather devastating secret that sets off the very first ripples of what will eventually become a widespread and long-lasting civil war that they themselves accidentally started as kids. And they don't meet again until they are adults, except this time they're on opposite sides of that war. So I describe it as gritty and a little dark. It's definitely Peaky Blinders inspired, Victorian era England inspired with a little bit of steampunk. It's got forbidden love and a little bit of a love triangle going on, a lot of political intrigue, and I'm heavily influenced by war fiction, which I really love to read. And I love to read historical fiction as well. So I think all of those influences played a part in the creation of this series. How was that?
That was perfect. That was a great way to explain it. Better than I could have done. So
I've had practice, but I'm try to keep it to a minute, Stacey.
Yeah.
And for readers who have already finished A Forbidden Alchemy, what can they expect with book 2 of Forsaken Prophecy?
Forbidden Alchemy left off on a cliffhanger, which we already know. A Forsaken Prophecy picks up right where we left off, at the exact point where we left off, which I always enjoy when I'm reading a series. So we're going right back to that place and kind of finding out what has become of this world, but what has become of all the characters in it as well. So where Nina's going next, where Patrick's going next, and what happens to these broken pieces that are sort of left behind. So what might be surprising is that this book is actually a bit of a traveler's journey, and there's a bit of maybe an unexpected quest involved in this story, which was really, really fun and really challenging as well, because it's quite hard to create a story that's about characters traveling from one place to another and not make that boring and all about the time that it takes to get from one place to another. So that was really challenging, but it was also really, really fun. So yeah, I think that might be a little bit surprising for readers of A Forbidden Alchemy.
Yeah, well, I thought the pacing was perfect. There was never a point where I was like, "Oh, this journey is just lagging on." It was great. We both,
Thank
Karly
you.
and
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We loved the second one.
It really felt like just getting to explore the world and expand your horizons, which was one of my favorite things in fantasy. So I loved that part of it because I want to know the world, and it was so much fun.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I really love that in fantasy too, and I love when it's done really well. Turns out it's hard to do really well. So as I learned sitting down to write it. But yeah, we got there in the end.
You nailed it.
Yeah. What has your reaction been to A Forbidden Alchemy success and seeing everyone's love for the Artisan trilogy?
It's been so interesting. The series I wrote before this one was called the Glacian Trilogy, and I published that with a small press as a debut author, and I thought that was a dream come true. And I had no idea what was involved in the publishing industry. I was a baby in that space. I really didn't understand how this world worked, and so I was sort of learning the ropes with that. And I published that trilogy, and it did fairly well, and then I had A Forbidden Alchemy up my sleeve, and I needed to pitch that. And when I did so, I really had pretty mediocre expectations for how that pitch would be received. I had just failed on a different book on submission, and so now I was about to do that all over again, and I had no idea how this one was going to be received. I didn't know if it would fail again, but it was picked up straight away, and we got a great offer for it. And if you're not sure how that works, authors are offered advance money, which is an advance on our royalties, and then a royalty scheme. And we sort of make our decisions based on that, I suppose, and how good that deal is. And I was much more interested in the marketing and publicity plan for A Forbidden Alchemy. I knew by then that that was a make or break situation. How big the budget was for marketing and publicity, how much the publishers were going to invest in getting this book out there and getting it under people's noses and pushing it. So I was much more interested in that. And I still had severely underestimated how powerful that could be. So we negotiated a deal where I had explicitly said that that was very important to me and that I'd rather that. I would rather the money be invested into the marketing and publicity of the book. And I thought that it did so very well. And so before Forbidden Alchemy was published, I already knew that it was going to do better than my last trilogy, just based on the reception. I obviously already had a reader community that I had built with my previous trilogy who were willing to come along with me on this one. But all of a sudden there was new people. There were so many new readers who hadn't heard of me before and hadn't read my previous books, but were really excited to read A Forbidden Alchemy, even though they knew very little about it. That was very, very strange. Going on book tour was incredibly strange. Having people actually show up to those events it was incredibly strange. And every step along the way, I kept thinking, this isn't going to work. They're going to work out that I'm a fraud or something. They're going, I'm going to go to New York and I'm going to go to that bookshop and I'm going to sit in that audience and there's not going to be anyone there. But every time I had an event like that or an opportunity like that, people showed up and showed out, and it was great. And I was like, who is paying these people to be here? My publishers are paying these people to show up. I'm sure of it. Or, you know, these podcasts that want to want to have me on must be doing so out of pity. Like, surely that's it. Like, I must have like a face that makes people feel sorry for me.
That's
Um,
it.
yeah.
That's why you're here. Just kidding.
Yeah. So it was incredibly hard to adjust to just being on like a different plane, I suppose, like being on that next level up. So I definitely knew that I had leveled up in some way. I just wasn't sure how I'd gotten there, and wasn't sure how long I was supposed to stay there, or how big the fall will be, or what would happen after that. The scariest part of all of that is I'm still like in a middle rung somewhere in terms of publishing success, and there's still so much further to go, in terms of like the heights of publishing success. And that's terrifying. So the imposter syndrome is real. It's incredibly hard to get over that and not be scared to say yes to opportunities and events simply because you fear it'll be a flop and people won't show up, and that no one really cares. But it's been like what keeps me on the more positive outlook is being online, engaging with like the community of readers who are excited, like they're genuinely excited, they're genuinely hyped, and they genuinely like these books, and like there's no greater gift really.
I love that. Do you have a favorite fan art or cosplay of your characters you've seen?
Anyone who who dresses up as like I had someone dress up as a full-blown miner, which was hilarious for me. They had like gotten like dust and stuff like that, and they were like dirty, and they showed up like that, and it was like the prettiest woman I've ever seen in my life. And she had like a peaked cap, and she had like a coat on and like a miner's outfit, and then she was just dirty and bedraggled, and she came with like the biggest, brightest smile on her. She had like a canary.
Aww.
She had like the biggest, brightest smile, and she was like, and she had the cutest, sweetest voice. She was like, "Hi!" And I was like, "What happened to you? Are you okay?" And she looked like she'd been stuck in a chimney all day. And that was my favorite thing ever, because the commitment, I'm like, oh my God, the commitment is absolutely insane. So that was really funny. But yeah, like anyone who's going to any kind of effort to dress up in cosplay or create fan art is insane. The idea that someone would take hours and hours of time to sit down and draw something that I wrote is a crazy idea. So anytime I see it, I lose my mind. I offer to buy it.
Fan art is how I found Ledge. Somebody
No
posted
way.
fan art to Instagram, and I was like, "What is this for?" And I was like, "Oh, it's for this book called Ledge," and that's how I read Ledge.
I love that.
So
Fan art is really,
yeah.
it's truly so powerful. Any character
It
art is
really
truly
is.
so powerful.
Yeah.
It really is. Especially for visual people, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that there's an author. She just went indie to trad. Her name's Gretchen Powell Fox, but she's like, I've spent so much money on fan art, and she like attributes that to being able to get all of her readers as well. And the fan art's incredible. I know that's like what drew me in, but I was one of the readers who saw your skits online. I hadn't read Ledge yet. I heard about this book, and your publicist had reached out to us, and then we're like, this sounds amazing. And then we read the arc, and we're like, this is incredible. This is the best book that we've read all year. So it was really, really great.
Sweetest.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
really
that. I love hearing all the stories.
It's really cool how different people are able to find the book. But
yeah, and it's a testament to the fact that when you get into this industry, you kind of have to tap into all of those things. Otherwise, you're limiting your reach to potential readers, you know?
Exactly. You've mentioned that Peaky Blinders was part of the inspiration for this world. Do you think that your characters would get along with the characters of the show?
I think it's either going to go one or two ways. Either they're going to get into a massive brawl, right? Like a huge pub fight, or they're going to get along swimmingly. Everyone's just going to get drunk. I'd like to think it's the latter. But it could be both. Maybe they all get along swimmingly and they all get drunk together, and then they end up brawling by the end of the night. That seems more likely.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah.
Speaking of characters, which Coulson brother would you assign to each of the following? Would rock karaoke, would be most likely to join a smutty book club, and secretly prefers pina coladas to whiskey.
Oh my God. Okay. I love this question so much. Okay.
Yeah.
Forget about it. I've got it. Donnie, best at karaoke. He's going to rock karaoke.
Okay. That's
Tear
true.
the house down. Next. Patrick is the one that's joining the smutty book club, I feel.
This is how I thought it would go.
And Gunnar secretly enjoys a pina colada instead of a whiskey.
That is so perfect for all of them.
I love that.
What is your favorite trope to write, and which trope are you most looking forward to writing in the future?
I think my favorite, I have two. Right now, my favorite trope is forbidden love. I love, or perhaps just like incredibly inconvenient love, even if it's not forbidden. Just like they love each other, even though they desperately don't want to. And it's not a hate to love thing, and it's not enemies to lovers. It's a, we can't love each other. Like this is going to get us killed, or it's not going to work, or the stakes are too high. Like the only option is for us to stay away from each other, and yet somehow they can't. I love writing that. I love the all the tension and the yearning that comes with a forbidden love, or I guess loving in a hopeless place. I love writing that. The other one is found family. I love to write dynamic characters. I love shoving them all into one room together. I love the banter that comes from that. I also like it when they oppose each other quite heavily, because that creates a lot of tension as well. So I think I like writing both of those tropes because of that. It gives me lots of room to torture, Yeah, so I'd say those two.
Great. Well, on behalf of the Touch Her and Die community, I just want to say thank you for feeding us.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm here to serve.
What is your favorite type of feedback to get from readers?
My favorite thing is when readers can quote back to me something that I wrote down. So this is most prevalent on social media, when they take quotes out of the book and make like a cute little graphic with it, or even if they don't, it doesn't matter. But when they go, oh my gosh, this line, and there's just like a reaction, like a meme or something that goes along with that. Because most of the time I've forgotten that small part, and I just find it so interesting what people pick out as like the line that got them. Most of the time it's things that got me as well. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's so abstract, and they drew some kind of meaning for that I didn't even intend, and that's really interesting to me as well. But that's my favorite kind of feedback, is when people message me or make something online where they go, oh my gosh, this part right here, whether it's a whole paragraph, one single line, whatever it is. I'm like, love that feedback. Thank you. So I think those are my favorite sort of interactions.
That's such a compliment, because it makes you really realize how much the book is sticking with your readers and how much they enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think people underestimate how much authors love the words. We labor over that at to a molecular level. We labor over the words. Sometimes when you read, and we tend to read so quickly, that, our eyes, our brains fly over these words. It's not often that or it's perhaps only in small parts of the story that we actually slow down and we kind of analyze the story at a sentence level. But authors do that every day. We're analyzing our own text at the sentence level or further. So it's really fun when readers do that with us, engage in that with us.
We have a listener submitted question. What is it like to be the funniest Australian author to ever do it?
It's pretty good. It's pretty fun. I rate it. I'm trying to think of what other Australian author we were really offended by that. There's definitely going to be the author of Never J. Christoph is going to be pissed off about this.
Oh yeah.
So Stasia's going to be pissed off about this.
We'll take the heat.
Sarah Parker. Just kidding.
Yeah. No, Sarah's too sweet to ever get angry at anything ever. But Jay Kristoff's not going to be happy.
It's a personal offense. we won't tell them if you don't.
Okay, very well.
Yeah.
I'm going to text him right now.
Be like, this podcast has it out for you personally. It's personal.
I've never met him, but I'm going to find a way to get his number. I'm going to tell him.
There is one more book to be released in the Artisan trilogy. Do you have a release date or an idea of a release date or even potentially a title you are ready to share?
I don't have a title that I'm ready to share yet. Our potential release date was definitely going to be around the same time that we've released book 1 and book 2. So we're going to be looking at summer for the US. It would definitely be around the July period, give or take. It usually just depends on what the publisher's lineup looks like of books for the summer and where that can fit in. And it always releases on a Tuesday, as we know. So yeah, pick a Tuesday in July.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. That's great to hear, especially considering that you love to end on cliffhangers. So
I do. No, I finished book 3. I finished writing book 3.
Oh.
We're editing it now. So so definitely don't need to worry about delays or anything like that in release dates. Everything's moving beautifully and on track, and I'm really excited for book 3 as well. So do not worry.
So exciting.
Well, we're very excited.
Just gotta tie in those loose ends that you're dreading.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have any other book ideas you're looking forward to diving into after the Artisan trilogy?
Of course I do. I have too many. I have an abundance of ideas. The next book I really want to write. Do you want to hear about it, or do you want me to just say yes or no to this?
Yes,
question?
of course.
Oh no, we want to hear about it.
Okay.
Anything you'll share, we'll listen.
Well, I'm about to just like spitball because it's not written and it's not pitched. It's nothing. It's like
that's true.
It's just in the abyss right now. But the idea that I had for this next story that I want to write, and I'm obsessed with it, I can't wait to get to it, is this idea that women in a society, and it can very much emulate, because again, I'm obsessed with historical fiction. And so picture like, again, Victorian England, okay? But this particular society, all women are born with power, with magic. Right. But the magic is subtle. The magic is usually introspective. So it might be getting flashes of the future. It might be healing, mind reading, things of that nature, where it's all very inward and it's not necessarily seen on the outside. But all women have this power and none of the men do. So not a single man alive. It's all the women. And like, what does that do to a society then? So I came up with this kind of handmaid-esque construct that the men in this society figured, in order to keep this under wraps, we're going to lobotomize the women unless they can be controlled, right? So there's always like this lingering threat that they're going to be sent away to this very strange, mysterious place where there's doctors, and that all the women that go and that come back seem soulless. They seem like there's nothing behind the eyes, like they've essentially been shut off or lobotomized. And that to avoid that, all you need to do is marry a man by the time you're 25. And that's it. Right? And that your husband will then become responsible for you in your adulthood when your father can't be. So you'll be passed from father to husband. And the husband's job is to keep you in check the whole time. It's just to make sure that you're kept in check. So the idea I had from this story is that I have 3 or 4, haven't decided yet, women, and I want to explore their timelines all at the same time. But the thing that they have in common is that they're all about to turn 25. So they are all at the cutoff. All of them are at the cutoff. They all have to find husbands immediately and very, very quickly by the end of the season. And that if they can't, they're going to be shipped off to this strange, mysterious hospital where the women who go and come back seem like they've had something in their brain shut off and they've lost their magic, and they can't use it anymore. And the magic is forbidden. But the other thing is that the magic is kind of exploding out of them in ways too. So they're under several different pressures to try and keep that magic contained, but to also to appear very appealing to the men in this society, so that someone will marry them and they won't be lobotomized. And I have all these ideas for these like 4 different women and the perspective that they're coming from, and how difficult it is, and like why haven't they been married yet? Like why has it taken them so long to get married? What's delayed them? Thusly, because I think like this whole construct very, very closely mimics the way society, like patriarchal societies, have run for women for all of time, just in different fashions and by different degrees and with different pressures and with different consequences for not meeting those societal expectations. And I find that very interesting. But I also like the idea of somehow making that incredibly romantic as well, for a bunch of different reasons, because there's a lot of opportunity there for me to tinker around with forbidden love, but from all kinds of different angles. So I'm really excited to dive into that story. I'm going to try and make it a standalone. No idea how successful I will be in that. Thanks. I'd really like to try and make that a standalone.
That sounds awesome.
Check back in with me a year from now, and I'm going to be like, it's a 5-book series.
Or it'll be a 700-page standalone, which we love.
Yeah.
I've actually been quite a fan of duology. No, they don't. I've actually been quite a big fan of duologies lately. I'm like, 2 and done.
I love duology. I love duology so much. Every series that I've written, I've said this is a duology, and they've gone great. And then I've gone, I love it. It's a trilogy. I can't tie these loose ends in one book. I can't. Give myself the challenge. I really wanted to make this a standalone. I really want to follow through on that. Let's see if that's achievable.
Yeah, we'll be checking in on you regularly. Like, how's the writing going? Is it still a standalone? How's the plotting?
God, I'm just going to be like, it's 2 books, it's 3 books, it's 4. It's just going to be going.
I changed my mind.
Oh, gosh.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell new readers about A Forsaken Prophecy before we move on to the spoiler section? Any warnings before they turn the final page? An apology, perhaps, for the inevitable cliffhangover?
You sound like you want an apology, and I need to tell you that it's not coming.
I think Karly requested the apology. But...
Karly, you're not getting an apology either.
No,
you knew what you were in for.
Cliffhangers.
I've always been this way. I never lied about who I was.
Listen, I read Ledge.
Yeah. She knew.
And I've
been worse, haven't I, Karly? I've been worse.
Yeah, it could be worse. That's what I always tell people. I'm like, listen, you just don't know yet. It could be worse.
True. And do you know what's funny? When A Forbidden Alchemy released and people started reading it, they were like, oh my God, the cliffhanger. And I forgot that it was more widely read than Ledge was, right? So I got like this overabundance of reactions about this cliffhanger in A Forbidden Alchemy. And I'm sitting on the other end of it going, stop being a baby. Have you read Ledge? Like, I've been worse. I've been worse. I was well behaved this time. But I forgot that it's just because of Forbidden Alchemy was more widely read, so I was getting more of the reaction, even though the cliffhanger wasn't quite so brutal. So by what I'm trying to say is I'm not sorry.
Yeah,
we're not.
I love that.
Yeah, we love cliffhangers, so we can't complain too much.
Yeah, I don't want you to be sorry because I don't want you to stop feeding us, and I love a good cliffhanger personally. Like, it's my favorite part of reading. I feel like a masochist or something, but I'm like, no, make it hurt.
Me too. This is exactly the way that I've been always, though. Like, if it ends in a good cliffhanger, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mind. And I kind of like the hype that you get from it. It's its own special kind of high, I think. Having something unresolved that you're waiting for.
I want to cry. I want to scream. I want to be distraught and have like a little brain activity for the full year as I make theories in between releases and connect with other readers. Just
precisely. You got it.
If I don't stare blankly at a wall for at least 30 minutes after I finish a book, it just didn't hit the same.
Precisely. Yeah. I need to be like distraught for at least a short amount of time.
Yeah. All right, we will now be diving into the spoiler-filled portion of this episode. So if you have not yet finished A Forsaken Prophecy, this is your chance to pause the episode and run Don't Walk to get Stacey's book. We've included the links to order in the show notes, as well as links to Stacey's socials. Make sure to come back and finish this episode once you have a chance to read A Forsaken Prophecy.
Now for my favorite part of the interview, spoiler questions.
Yeah. All right, can we expect the same POVs in book 3, or will it expand again?
Great question. It will both collapse and expand again. So we're going to lose a POV that we will not need. And we're going to gain a POV for the next one. I can tell you which ones they are, but I don't know if you want that spoiler or not for book
I kind of do. I kind of want to know.
I kind of want to know.
Okay, so at the end of A Forsaken Prophecy, we were very briefly introduced to a character called Trip, who's going to be very, very important for book 3, because it turns out that he is yet again another alchemist, only this time he's with the baddies, which is terrible.
Silly guy. I knew when his name was Trip, he was going to trip us up. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Oh.
I figured that's who you were going to take out, but that actually leads perfectly to my next question, because as someone who's worked in ophthalmology for years, I found Donnie's portrayal of the world fascinating. I thought you did it really well. Did you always know? You're welcome. Did you always know that you wanted to explore his point of view in book 2? And was it challenging relying on other sensory descriptions to portray the scene without using sight? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 It was definitely fun to read because we do see the spectrum of blindness. And I did notice how when they went to Scurry, he's sing a lot less and he's like, who is it? What's there? And just even the crinkling of paper, and he's making assumptions of what that paper is and what's going on. I just found it very interesting, and I really, really enjoyed that. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, we're big Donnie fans.
Please protect him.
Yeah,
That'll be my plea.
I saw that in the acknowledgments portions of the book that you had this book titled A Fucking Pain in My Arse for quite a long time. Were there any other potential titles for A Forsaken Prophecy? Okay. Oh.
Oh.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You're like, fuck. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Alrighty.
Well, they know their market because I like the titles.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's good to know because I am the worst at naming anything. And I'm like, how would I ever even come up with the title? And I didn't know that they can generate lists for you and like go through that. So it's really fun fact to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big brainstorming
Mm-hmm.
exercise most of the time.
I love that. I love naming stuff, so I think that would be fun.
I
You'd
struggle
probably
with
be
it.
really good at it.
Yeah.
I struggle with it too.
Yeah.
I struggle with it
I think
too.
it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how permanent it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that.
Now,
Yeah.
back in
Yeah.
September, you posted on Threads that you dislike your FMC Nina. Context for those listening, the thread read, quote, having a conversation with someone about one Miss Nina Harrow / Clark is always fun because they get to tell me that they like her so much, and I get to see their expression when I tell them how much I disagree. Stacey, could you please expand on that for us?
So in book 1, she's flippant and flaky and she runs away and she doesn't stand up for anything. She sits on the fence. She's neutral. She's war shy. Her response to all of these great big problems that she could be helping to solve is to hide. She has very, very valid reasons for doing so, but it's just not necessary. These choices are not the choices that I would make. And it's really fun to write a character like that. It's really fun to write a character who's making all the choices that you wouldn't for whatever, for good reasons or bad reasons. I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to be the kind of author who self-inserts. And I never have been. I write characters who are a direct contradiction to me most of the time because I really don't want to pathologize myself. I don't want to look deeper. I have no interest in being a better person. I don't want to make any improvements. I don't want to know what's under this hood, like, so I write characters that have nothing to do with me. And I leave everything else to my therapist and it's her job to figure it out. But it's my job to figure out these characters. So I like giving myself a challenge. I like giving myself a character who challenges me and who doesn't do what I think she should do. And I like giving them the character arc to eventually agree with me, and to eventually become likable to me. So that's fun for me. So in book 1, I'm like, when people are like, I loved Nina. I thought she was such a fierce character. And I went, give me examples of when she was fierce. There
she
aren't
ran away
many.
Here and here.
Yeah, like her MO is duck and cover, There is definitely things that I love about her, don't get me wrong, but I didn't like her decision making and I didn't agree with it. So it was really fun having conversations with readers where they were like, I love Nina, and I'm like, that makes one of us because she's pissing me off. She had a lot of opportunities to tell Patrick the truth and to go out on a limb and take the chance and to trust him. And she didn't. She was too scared to. And that pissed me off. It pissed off a lot of people, I think. Yeah, those conversations are really fun for me. I also like it when people are like, oh, I did like Nina, I did, but she did piss me off a little bit. And I get to go, I don't like her at all. She pisses me off a lot. And they go, great. Like, let's talk about it. That's fun for me too. I like her now. I will say that. I like her a lot now. In fact, I love her now. That's usually how it goes for me. They piss me off at the start for the first book. I like them more and more as I continue to write, right? Because I'm writing them into the character that I want them to be by the end of it.
Well, I mean, I don't think, I think the most interesting books, though, are the books where you get to, like, see the character grow and arc through the story, and you get to, like, land in the place you want them to be, not start in the place you want them to be, because that's boring, right?
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Yeah.
I kind of, something that makes me put a book down quickly is when an FMC appears page perfect.
No,
because none of us
agree.
are, or any main character. I'm like, so where are we going from here if they're already perfect?
Yeah.
Yep. No faults, nothing wrong with them. Super powerful.
Yeah. Super perfect in every way.
Yeah. No, I mean, where's the fun in that, honestly? Like, complex characters are the most interesting. And I also just think Nina is really, I feel like, representative to some extent, though, of a lot of people who just kind of feel like, well, what can I do about it? So they kind of just turn their
Exactly.
back on the problem. And I think it's good to read things like that because it can make you read that and go, okay, what can I actually do to help this problem? Like
Right.
turning your back on something doesn't do anything. So you got to
Right.
acknowledge the
And
problem to solve the problem.
and nothing changes. And like her life wasn't good while she was sort
Yeah.
of following this track of let me just remain neutral.
Yeah.
And let me lay low and hide and not be part of the problem or the solution. You know, I'm just going to
Yeah.
stay on the fence right here and I'm not going to commit myself either way. And I'm going to say, well, both of you kind of suck. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to be helpful at all. Um,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that would agree with her on that. I think there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that will go, that's fair enough. You know,
Yeah.
she should hide. But, you know, she was also 18 years old when she was having to make those very, very crucial decisions. So whilst I didn't agree with her and I didn't like her during that time as a character, I also deeply understood the fear and the danger and the reasons for her choosing that. I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with someone to understand them. Yeah, so she was fun for me to write, and I had previously written an FMC that was fierce and violent, and she was almost the opposite. She was so convicted of what she knew to be right and what she knew to be wrong, and she saw the world in very black and white. There was no grey area at all, and to her detriment, you know, in that series, and that made her incredibly morally grey. Nina is sort of like the antithesis to that. She's all grey. She's constantly the red herring. She can constantly see both sides of this story. She's constantly looking for well, you might feel that way, but what about the other side of the coin? So she's that character that always, right, well, that might be true, but like, what about this? And everyone knows someone like that, who it doesn't matter what political view you throw at them, they go, but what about the other side of this? Like, let's look at the other side of this. That's both incredibly frustrating and incredibly necessary. So
Yeah.
it's like, that's a really hard character to deal with, someone who's not convicted either way. So it was fun for me.
Yeah. No, she's a very interesting character to read. We really enjoy Nina, even if we don't necessarily agree with her decision making, which is, I find those characters the most interesting personally.
Yeah.
Which scene did you find to be the most emotional in this book?
In A Forsaken Prophecy?
Yes.
There is a scene somewhat towards the end where Nina and Patrick are back in Scurry, and she sort of walked into her family home again for the first time, but she's had to bring Patrick and John along with her, and she's sort of confronting the fact that nothing has changed with her father, or in fact it's gotten worse. And she's also revealing that to Patrick, this man that she loves, and his father. And they're sort of seeing like the degrees of turmoil that's gone on in this household. She's also having to face the fact that she left him on purpose. She made the choice to leave him and to go to the city and to leave him behind, knowing that as a child she couldn't help him and that she had to survive. And the only way to do that was to take herself away. But she has to deal with the consequences of what condition that's left him in, with no one to care for him, and that he's just fallen into further disrepair, like on the brink of death. So that was a really emotional scene to write, particularly because Patrick can see everything for what it is in that situation as well, because he's such a perceptive character. And he's such an empathetic character that he's kind of desperately trying to shield Nina from this reality and from like this imprint he can see happening in her brain moment by moment. So yeah, that whole scene was really emotional. And then there's another one that follows up quite quickly after that, where Nina just returns to see her father for the very last time. And it's sort of this weird moment of, she knows it's the last time, that she'll, like, you know, she doesn't intend on rescuing her father. She understands that there's no rescue that's available to him, that these are the consequences of the society that they live in and the world that they live in, the parish that they live in, and the conditions in which this parish must fall under. And that there's no saving him, but she's in a very vulnerable place and she's very upset and there's a lot of turmoil. And even with everything she knows about her family home and her father and the state that he's in, she, for some reason, still gravitates back home to seek comfort there in this comfortless place. So those scenes were really emotional to write, for sure.
I feel it must have also been pretty enlightening for Patrick's character too, because maybe a part of him judging her for joining the Swanks, but then when he actually gets to see what it was like for her and how she was alone as a child, and even just walking around Scurry, they're saying, well, why aren't they taking care of their own? Why are there all these starving children around? He's like, oh, wait, this is what you went through. I think I understand a little bit better now.
Yeah,
that's
and
definitely...
him realizing that this was her. Like she was one of these children that weren't being looked after. You know, because it's not Kenton Hill. There was no one in Scurry to pick up the town and say, let's take this off the hands of the police and of the people, of the government. Let's like take this town back so that we can take care of each other and we can try and like lift ourselves out of these desperate conditions. There was no one to do that in Scurry. There were people to kind of do the opposite. There were people that exploited it. So it was like, yeah, Scurry is like the antithesis to Kenton Hill, and like these two towns that were given similar conditions but fell in different places. And so it was, I think that whole sequence was like, this was quite interesting to write because there's lots of comments from Patrick and John where they're looking around going, but like, how can no one do anything about this? And Nina's like, because it's dangerous to. It's dangerous to take care of other people when you can hardly take care of yourself. So
So
it's all fun and games, and it's all sunshine and rainbows. It's all lovely.
It was definitely, I think, a really enlightening moment into Nina's character and like what Patrick was seeing in her and in Skirt. Like the whole dynamic there was really interesting, and you could feel like how it felt so inevitable to her, this moment of like, there's nothing she can really do for her dad and for this town in general. It kind of like this town felt very lost to her, which you could feel that. And it was just really sad
there's
for
like
her.
a little piece of dialogue, I think, in there that says something where she says to her dad something like, I had to go. Like I had to.
Yeah.
I couldn't stay. And that was really like emotional and really gut wrenching for me, because that was just the reality of like a 12-year-old kid who didn't have anyone else to look after her other than this man. Who was failing day by day, and there was no getting out of this state for him. There was the mines, and then the consequences of the mines, and then the only way to try and live through like those hardships and that turmoil, the pain of that, was to resort to the bluff that he was being fed. And there was nothing a 12-year-old could do to sort of stop that. So that was really tough. And I kind of liked that even with her re-entering Scurry was almost this moment of like, of course I'm back here, like, of course, I'm being forced
full
to go back
circle
here again,
Yeah. In the acknowledgements, you wrote that A Forsaken Prophecy was your most challenging book yet, and that you deleted over 60,000 words from the first and second draft, but that it is your favorite piece of work. What made A Forsaken Prophecy so difficult to write?
There were so many. I think I was very ambitious. I knew what I wanted to do with the book, but I was very ambitious with it. In A Forsaken Prophecy, there's like this idea that idiocy is somewhere, and that if the first person to find it is going to have this power, this control, right? Because they need the terranium, which is running out. Like they can't find it anywhere. It's the source of their magic. Whoever has the most magic has the most power, and that's just how it works. And that the first one to it is like the winner in this sense, but they have to find it. So initially I didn't have the Steward's Testament where they had to like kind of like translate this old script to figure out where this scene was. I had a map, and the map was kind of leading them around, but the map was like hidden by scribbler magic, and so that like pieces of the map were coming up. And I was writing it, and I got about halfway through the book, and only to discover that I hated it. Like I really hated that they were walking around with this fucking map. Like it just felt like every bad 90s adventure movie that I'd ever seen as a kid. And I didn't even like those movies, So but it took like 50% of the book for me to realize that I was writing scenes with all this yearning and banter and cool dialogue, and that all the in-between, I was kind of hating it. Like, I was kind of like, oh, let's just go to the next scene where Nina and Patrick fight again. That'll be fun. So, and I thought, I don't want to, if that's how I feel when I'm writing it, that's how readers are going to feel when they read it, right? Because there's no heart going into it. I'm just trying to get from one place to the next. So I need to come up with a different construct that's more interesting to me, at least, if I'm ever going to finish this book. So, and it just entailed going back and cutting like 30% of the book. So I just had to go back and delete, like delete. So I can start this new construct. So I sat there for a little bit and looked at the manuscript, and I had written, I think A Forsaken Prophecy is about 145,000 words. At this point, I had written about 70,000 words, and I was looking to cut it back to 30,000 words again.
Oh, wow.
And I looked at it and thought, I can't, I'm just going to go back through and I'm going to read it, and I'm going to just rewrite, and I'm just going to like change sentences. And I did that for a day and then went, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. I'm going to spend more time going through chopping and changing. And then when I'm going to end up with this Frankenstein story where I've just shoved pieces together because I'm unwilling to delete. So I took 2 days to like lick my wounds, I suppose, and like come to terms with the fact that I was going to halve my work. And that I was going to delete like 2 months worth of writing. So I took 2 days to like come to terms with the fact. And then I sat down in the third way and just mass deleted back to 30,000 words and started again. And then I got to 70,000 words again and still hated it. So I did it again. I know. So I actually wrote that like Act 2, that middle section of the book. I wrote it 3 different times, and the third time I really loved it and was glad that I'd done the delete, but it hurt. It hurt to delete it. And I've never done that with a book before. I've never had to sort of mass delete in that way in like a first draft, because I can't continue writing because I don't like it. So there's lots of stuff that comes with that, the loss of faith in your own ability to write. The idea that maybe this book is just going to have to be crap and you're just going to have to release a crap book. Like maybe you're not as good at this as what you thought. Maybe your editor is going to get this and tear it apart, and they're going to say, delete it again. and it's just going to keep going on like this. So yeah, there's a lot of thoughts that come with that, I guess. But in the end, I knew that the reason I didn't like it was because I was good at this, and that I knew that I had a good story on my hands and I had good ideas. It was just the execution of those ideas, and that I could get there, but I needed to take my time and I needed to do it properly. And I needed to not try to rush to this finish line. So yeah, we got there in the end, but it was called a fucking pain in my ass.
Yeah.
in my
for
documents
that reason.
for that reason for the entire time, because it was just like this thing that wasn't clicking for me, where I was just like the dialogue's fine and the banter is good and like I know where it's going, and I know that this plot is okay, but I hate it and I don't know why that is. So eventually I came up with this idea for like this script, like this book. That was in a language like no one could really understand, and how that would work and how it can tie Polly into it. Because I really wanted her to come along for the ride. And I found that I was making up weird reasons why she was still there, when they very clearly wanted her to leave. And so that stuff wasn't making sense. So yeah, just plot hole after plot hole after plot hole, where I would think I was just like, putting a Band-Aid over these plot holes and going, it's fine, it'll be fine. And then going, I hate it. I hate that I've got Band-Aids everywhere. I'm going to have to strip it all back and try again. But we got there.
You did.
Well, I'm sorry this one was so tough because I loved it. And I mean, A Forbidden Alchemy was my favorite book of last year, and I ended up liking this one even more. And
yay.
And so I mean, I just love this series so much. So I'm sorry it was so tough for you to
No,
write because
that's
I
very,
enjoyed
you
it
have
so
no idea how,
much.
you have no idea how gratifying it is to hear that from anyone though, because I truly feel the same. Like I feel like in the end, it's a book that I can look at and be really proud of and go, no, that's what I wanted it to be. That I wanted it to be this. And I almost let that go a few times. I almost went, okay, this wasn't the book that I intended to put out. It's not the book that I intended to write, but here it is, I guess. I hope you guys like it anyway.
Yeah.
And I think I would have been really annoyed with myself. You know, I think I would have been coming onto these podcasts and going to different events and going, it's okay. Like I hope you guys like it. If you don't, then fair enough. Yeah, so I don't think, but I need to be able to come onto these things and go to these events and go, I gave it my best shot, guys. Like I really, yeah. So I'm glad. It's really validating to hear that because you almost got a completely different book. So
Yeah. Well, we really loved the book we got. So thank you for not giving up.
you're welcome.
Yeah, your efforts are appreciated.
Yeah.
To close out our spoiler questions portion of the interview, we have a few, scratch that, many theory level questions and clarifications we'd like to ask. We're expecting a lot of no's, so definitely feel free to pass if it gives away too much from book 3. Obviously, we've talked about this a lot. It was important for you to have the word prophecy in the title. We know it's called A Forsaken Prophecy, and our main characters follow the events of the Steward's Testament, which is a history. Are they prophesied to repeat history, or is there a hidden prophecy within the text that has not been uncovered yet?
So I can say no to the second part of this question. There's not, like we're not re-exploring the Steward's Testament in book 3.
Okay.
The Steward's Testament, and the sort of point of it was to record the history of the 3 daughters and the existence, I guess, of this scene, because it dictates how like this magic has now been like redistributed like to the populace. So that chapter is kind of closed in that sense. But as for the prophecy of that, the history of the 3 daughters and whether or not that will repeat itself, I would argue that it's already repeating itself in this story. So there's definitely something to it. Yes, you're on the right track.
Is the prophecy that if you visit all 3 graves of the daughters, you'll be granted a wish? Is that part of it, potentially?
Pass.
I
pass.
All right.
Was John responsible for the struts breaking in the mine under Trent to avoid answering whether he was the one who gave up Patrick?
Yeah. I'm so glad that you picked that up. Do you know that you're the first person to pick that up? Even my editor didn't pick that up.
That was like the first note I had. And Kinsey and I had a lot of the same questions, and we had to just decide who was going to ask the questions because it's like, 40 questions, and we're like, okay, we got to narrow this down. And
we did not do a good job at narrowing them down, though.
Yeah, we tried. Okay. Oh man, yeah, we did our best anyway.
It was I'm like, the timing's just a little bit too convenient, John.
It's suspicious.
Yeah, it's a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Can we assume that John sent the scribbler revealing the location of Idia's seam to Lord Shop?
Yes.
Oh, he sucks. Good thing he's dead.
Yeah,
he sucks.
Will we find out what lines Tess has crossed?
Yes.
Okay.
Have we already unknowingly seen her cross those lines?
No.
Okay. Our main characters suspiciously followed in the footsteps of the Steward's Testament. Is there an outside force that sent them on the same journey as the 3 daughters?
That's really up to interpretation. In my mind, yes. I think there's like this overshadowing, like prophetic nature to this story that's driving these things. And I like the idea that these 3 daughters are so, like, even after death, are so angry about what happened to them when they only wanted to help. They were only wanting to use their magic to help. And they're so angry about what happened to them. So I like the idea that there's like these driving forces like that are amorphous and shapeless, and they don't make all that much sense necessarily, but they are like driving this kind of narrative to teach everyone a fucking lesson. I really like that idea. So yeah, open to your interpretation, but
Okay.
in my mind, yes.
Okay. Speaking of prophetic nature, is there any significance to the fact that there were 3 daughters and that there are 3 Coulson brothers?
Pass.
Oh,
Okay.
that was almost a yes.
I love you guys are so good at these questions. So much
Thank
fun
you.
to be asked these
That
questions.
makes us feel so good.
We've been holding back this whole time. I'm like,
Yeah.
keep it in, Kinsey.
Yeah.
Does Lord Shop truly believe Theo and Polly to be dead, or was this house propaganda?
It's definitely house propaganda. Like they have no confirmation.
Okay, so he's just like, we'll just not search and we're going to assume that you're dead.
Yeah, he's like, well, they're gone. So
Yeah. One problem solved.
Dad? Yeah. Dad?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Question mark?
Question mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Is the manifestation of artisan magic designated by where idiom is extracted and which daughter the source belongs to? Or are the power
Interesting question.
Yeah. Or are power manifestations completely random?
Okay, I can't answer this question. I can tell you that this stuff is explored in book 3.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just like, it's so interesting that Nina is from Scurry and that the final daughter to die mostly controlled the earth.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Very
indeed,
interesting.
Yeah.
Are we going to find out how the first alchemist got their magical ability to extract the idiom?
I'm going to say pass.
Okay.
Okay.
Bluff is also only found in Terranium. Is it safe to assume that this was also left behind by Idia and her sisters, or is there another explanation?
No, it's safe to assume that it's also been left behind by Idia and her sister. Part of it, like Idia and Dione and Joan, was that they truly were just like these 3 women who had these extra powers and they were just using them to help. You know, they lived together in this parish and they really were just using them to help. So people would visit them for healing and things like that. But it didn't always work. And so then they got this label as witches when they wouldn't share their power or share their magic. And so eventually, as humanity tends to do, it turns on those people and turns them into villains, and it tried to strip it from them. But I liked the idea that there was these 2 different kinds of powers in the earth, and that one of them is incredibly useful and should be seen as like the more valuable thing. And that thing is bluff. Like the bluff or the fake idiom that doesn't give you artisanal magic, it should be seen as the more valuable thing, right? Like what is more valuable than something that has like magical healing? It's not foolproof. It's not going to bring someone back from the brink of death necessarily, but it's like the best medicine that they have in all of the land and that they'll ever have. It should be incredibly valuable. And yet it's not as valuable to the humans as idiom is. And I kind of liked that, the idea that the daughters like left them these 2 things and was like, which one do you want? Which stone do you want? Pick wisely. Don't fuck this up. And they fuck it up anyway, you know?
Did part of their bitterness at being betrayed go into the bluff and how it has those negative side effects with the addiction?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And like I kind of intentionally let this like down to readers' interpretation. I like hearing about readers kind of going through series like this and saying, well, I like this is why I think the bluff is there and this is what it represents and this was its purpose. I kind of love not spelling anything out and like just hearing from different people what they think its purpose was or why it's there and what it represents. That's really fun for me. But in my mind, like the bluff is there for you to use, but it's also like it's got some negative side effects to it, just as the idiom does. The idiom's created this very totalitarian society for them. It's divided them. It's worse. They're harming their earth to harvest it. It has like huge environmental impacts, but it also has huge societal impacts. You know, entire parishes are left destitute and broken. And it's only helping the top 2% of the population. So yeah, both bluff and idiom are doing more harm than good. Just like lots of natural resources that we have do the same thing. Like they're
Yep.
doing more harm than good.
Mm-hmm.
But we fight over them anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
AI. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't even get us started on that.
Mhm.
Don't even get us started.
There's a moment where Nina notates that John is, quote, whistling in place of a canary. Was this intended to be foreshadowing that he was both the leak and would ultimately die?
Yes, you're smart. You really are.
Karly's gonna write in her diary, today I got to interview Stacey for the second time. This is the best
Today
day
was
of
the
my
best day of
life.
my life.
She called me smart.
I love that you pick it out. Something that I also really loved doing in this series was that anytime a canary was mentioned in any way, it was almost always foreshadowing something going to shit. Like something bad happening. And most readers were able to pick that up in book one. So I'm hoping that they can carry that knowledge over in book two, because I really like the tension that builds every time I drop that word. They're like, oh, fuck, what's going to happen now?
Yeah.
What's going on? But yeah.
Well, the canary died right as they found the seam. And I'm like, well, this is great. And we already knew it was a trap. And so I'm like, no.
Yeah. You're like, no, get out of there. Yeah.
Run.
I feel like you've kind of answered this, but should we be concerned for anyone else being associated with a canary?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No. No. Keep Donnie out of it. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Keep Donnie's name out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Book 3 is going to be like equal parts really validating, but really rough as well. Book 3, by the way, the most fun to write out of all 3 of them. It's just the ending that's been really difficult because, like I said, those loose ends, but everything before it has been really fun. It feels like my reward after writing book 1 and book 2, because I'm like, this is the ending that I envisioned. Now I get to make it happen. And then I remember that I wrote way too many side characters, and now I need to tie up all those loose ends as well. But it's really, really fun. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough out there.
Since other fantasy books have driven us insane with the I didn't realize I said that out loud mind reading trope, can you please confirm that Nina genuinely did call Patrick handsome out loud and that she is a rambling drunk?
Oh yeah, for sure. She 100% said that out loud, and
that was a really long pause.
Is a rambling drunk. There's no...
That pause scared me. I'm like, no, we have mind reading now.
No, there's no mind reading. She's just drunk.
Okay, good. I was like, oh my God, I swear.
Will we get to see Tamir/Richard again?
Yeah.
Okay,
cool. He's got great
I loved
fashion
him.
sense. Yeah.
We really liked him. We just thought he was fun.
He's great. He's so fun. I love that he just mispronounced everything, and he was like, well, whatever, I don't care.
Whatever. Yeah. Is it safe to assume book 3 will pick up right where we left off, or will there be a considerable time jump since Trip will need to train as an alchemist?
So it will not pick up exactly where we left off. There is a little bit of a time lag, but we don't miss anything. Sort of everything that's happened is eventually brought up and played out. But yeah, there is a little bit of a time jump while we let everything go to shit a little bit. And Patrick figures out, as he always does, how on earth they're to come back from all of this. And the miners' union is in shambles. So we don't pick up exactly where we left off, but it's pretty close.
Okay. Good to know. And finally, if you could describe the next book in 3 words, what would they be?
Oh my God.
Making you work tonight.
Okay, I would definitely say tense. It almost felt like, for me writing it, it almost felt like I was just like pulling a piece of elastic further and further and further and further and further, to a point where, you know it's going to come back and snap, but like you don't know how much further it's going to go. So that's how it felt writing it. So I would say tense, almost like nail biting, like very like, good God, don't do that. No, don't do that. And this is me writing it, by the way. Going, don't do this, Stacey. Don't. I'm gonna anyway.
No.
But it's also very vindicating.
Okay.
So tense, nail biting, but vindicating.
I'm going to add a follow-up question. Is this a book that I can read in public, or should I stay home in case I crash out?
So for the first half of the book, you can read it out in public. The last 50%, you need to stay home.
Okay, good to know, because I'm a crier.
Feels on brand.
I cry, I scream. So.
Yep.
Okay.
That feels so on brand for you, Stacey.
Yeah. That can pretty much apply to any book.
Honestly, she's like, good luck, have fun.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is me standing over your shoulder for like every, you guys can't see me because I'm pixelated, but it's just me going, you guys having fun?
That's exactly how it's going to go. Yeah. And now we are going to shake things up with the final game segment. Stacey, since you have left your readers in Cliffhangover Jeopardy, we would like to return the favor with our reader versus author trivia segment.
I will be competing against Stacey and losing. So
The Cliffhangover Jeopardy rules are simple. We have 4 categories to choose from, and points will be earned based on the difficulty level. We will alternate who gets to pick a question first, starting with Stacey, of course. After the question is read, you will have 3 seconds to answer. It doesn't need to be answered in the form of a question. You can just say the answer. If you run out of time or get it wrong, then that gives the other person an opportunity to answer the question and steal your points. We will race against the 5-minute timer to clear the board as quickly as possible. So we might answer all the questions, we might not, and I will be tallying the points as we go along.
if Stacey wins, we will be giving away a copy of A Forsaken Prophecy on our Instagram at Basic and Bookish Pod. And if I win, then we will still be giving away a copy of A Forsaken Prophecy. And maybe Stacey will answer one of the questions she passed on. No pressure.
Okay, great.
Any questions?
No.
Are we ready?
Let's
No.
do it. I'm ready.
Okay, great.
All right.
So the categories are Welcome to Bellavere, Artisan Girl Math, A Forsaken Testament, and Traitors to the House. Our points are 100, 200, 300.
I'm going to go for Artisan Girl Math for 200, please.
Okay, sounds good. 200. How many survivors remained in Trent?
How many survivors remained in Trent? Oh my God.
3, 2,
This is one. 200.
Yeah. I realized too, I kind of failed here and I didn't even set the timer. So maybe that would be helpful. So let me just real quick set my 5-minute timer.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay. So Karly, this is your chance to steal.
Oh, it wasn't 200?
Oh, no, it was not.
Okay. 300.
No, it was actually less, 140. So no points on that one. It's okay. Karly, which category are you going for?
Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to take A Forsaken Testament, 100 points, please.
Okay. Who was the original owner of the Steward's Testament?
Polly's grandfather?
That is correct. Do you know what his name is?
I don't, but I feel like that should count.
Okay. Well, maybe let it count. We'll let it count. Okay, so that's 100 for Karly.
I think you should let it count. I also don't know Polly's grandfather's name.
I do have it written down. I'm like, oh, what was it again?
What was it?
Let me pull it up on my computer. Sullivan Prescott.
Yeah.
Sullivan Prescott. That's
You couldn't
Sullivan.
have tortured that out of me.
I'm like Mr. Prescott.
I know.
I don't know.
Okay, pick a category.
Okay, I'm gonna take Welcome to Bellavere for 100, please.
How is idiom forcefully removed from artisans?
By slitting their wrists and bleeding.
Yeah.
them.
That is correct.
Yeah.
We got 100. We're tied right now. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Karly, category.
Oh, okay. I will take Traders to the House for 100.
Okay. What did the Coulsons trade instead of bluff?
Coal.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Stacey.
I'm going to take a Forsaken Testament for 200, please.
All right. Which language did they need to translate for the book? 3.
Variant script.
Yes, that is correct. Barely got it. Karly.
I will take Traders to the House 200.
Okay. What was Polly doing when she was caught by Nina and Theo?
Oh, cheating at cards.
Okay. Stacey.
All right. Welcome to Bellevue for 200.
200. Okay. What's the name of Mrs. Trunk's establishment in Levenshire?
Trunks, Antiques, and Oddities.
Yes. Good job.
Yes.
Okay. And Karly.
I'll take Artisan Girl Math for 300 or whatever's left on the board.
300. Okay.
Okay.
What's Fletcher Harrow's townhouse number?
Oh, God. I don't know. 4?
Stacey, you can steal.
Is it 357?
Close. It was 348.
Damn. It was 300 and something.
Okay.
I was way off.
Your turn to choose from the board.
I'm going to take Traders to the House for 200, please.
For 200. Oh, I think I already did that one. I forgot to erase it. Do you want 300 for that category?
300, please.
Okay, my bad. That was my bad. Okay, what are the side effects of using Tully root as a tincture?
It rots your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yes, it does. And Karly.
Oh, I'll take Forsaken Testament for 300.
Okay. Name the 3 daughters from the Steward's Testament.
Oh, okay. I always mix up one of their names and want to call them Stacey, but that's the author of the book. It's Idia, Dione,
Mm-hmm. You got 2 of them.
Joan.
Yes. Good job.
It was okay. I was like, is it Jane? I was like, it's one of the 2.
Dione is a Greek goddess, and Joan is for Joan of Arc.
Oh, I love that.
Because of Idia, yeah.
So we have Artisan Girl Math 100 or Welcome to Bellevue for 300.
Welcome to Bellevue for 300, please.
Okay.
I'm leaving you the maths question, Karly.
Oh, jeez.
They
Which
suck.
yeah. Which action do Brink children believe will grant them a wish?
Snapping a chicken bone was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's like visiting the graves of the 3 daughters. Is that what you were looking for?
Yep. That's what I was looking for. And Karly, the last question is,
Yes.
despite being younger,
great.
what age does Fletcher Harrow look?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I couldn't tell
I'm
you.
stealing.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead and steal.
70?
Yes. Alrighty. So, to no surprise, Stacey was our winner with 1,200 points, and Karly, you were left at 700. I would say that was
That's pretty good, Karly.
That was pretty
Listen,
good.
I'll take that. I'll take that
Yeah.
every day. I'll take that
You
straight
did
to
well.
the bank.
I'm like, I probably should have practiced doing that. I was like, oh wait, I forgot to erase it. You guys did great though. Good job.
Yay.
We made it through the whole game. We made it through all
We
of our
did.
I
questions.
know. I'm very impressed.
We're
with
efficient.
us. We are so efficient.
All right, we will post our Cliffhangover Jeopardy game segment over on Patreon. It is free to watch for anyone. So if you want to see Stacey beat me at trivia, make sure to go watch that. The link is in our show notes. Thank you so much for joining us today, Stacey. Thank you for answering so many questions.
No, always. Thank you so much for having me on. And thank you for all of the questions. They were my absolute favorite. You guys do your research.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
You're such a joy to have on. Like, you're such a great author, and you have great answers to our questions. So
Yeah.
we really appreciate it.
Yeah. I try not to ramble. I've only had 1 cup of coffee, so that I only rambled a tiny, tiny little bit.
You did great.
No, I mean, honestly, I feel like we could probably talk to you for hours and hours and hours and still have more questions. So we really just appreciate the time you're able to give us. This was truly, I think, one of the highlights of our whole year because we were looking forward to this book so much, and it did not disappoint. And getting to talk to you about it was the best.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I get to see like either one or both of you on tour. When I'm Stacey on tour, that'd be great. But I love you girls very much. Thank you for having me on. And
Thank you so
I
much.
hope that I get to see you soon.
Hopefully.
hopefully
Yes,
see you
absolutely.
soon.
We'll keep in touch.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye. All right, Basic Book Besties, this is where we leave you today. Thank you so much for listening. Please leave us a review and join us next time. We have even more fun author interviews planned that we are excited to share. Up next is Hannah Nicole Mayer, author of the upcoming release Adversary to the Villain, Book 4, and the Assistant to the Villain series.
You can join us over on Patreon, where you can access all of our episodes ad-free, 3 days early, and in full video, plus extras like exclusive book club access and shoutouts on the show. You'll find our Patreon link in the show notes, along with all the ways you can support the podcast, like ordering A Forsaken Prophecy from the links provided in our show notes. You can also purchase A Forsaken Prophecy wherever books are sold, and we highly recommend supporting indie bookstores when possible.
Don't forget to stay in the loop by following us on social media and join us in our Discord chat. Who knows, you might just meet your next book bestie there. You can also check out our website, basicandbookishpod.com, for info about our upcoming seasons, our contact form, and more. We've linked that down in the show notes.
Until next time, reach out on Discord to let us know what you thought about A Forsaken Prophecy. See you there. Oh, man, I love Stacey. She's so great.
I do too. She is the best.
Genuinely, such a pleasure to have on the show.
God, I'm so excited we got to read A Forsaken Prophecy, but now we have to wait so long for book 3.
Don't remind me. At least I feel like this cliffhanger was less insane than the first one. Like, we're not like, oh my God.
I felt that way too.
Because like before we're like, oh no, Nina betrayed Patrick and Gunnar is dying. But now we're like,
yeah,
whew, we know who's dead.
Still wasn't as bad as Ledge.
No. Good luck. Yeah.